I lost the, okay, here we go. We're going live, okay? And now if I can get back to the Zoom screen, we will be able to see. And welcome. It is Monday. It's time for the Deal Doctor live stream. And I am here today with Eric Graham and our very, very special guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Leo Olson.
Thank you. Thank you. I've been on a lot of live streams lately, so.
And the crowd goes wild. Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction. Yeah. I hope I don't disappoint. So
I'm sure you won't. So we're here today to talk a little bit about boot camps and sort of the renaissance of boot camps. And
Yes.
you introduced a little bit of it last week in a live stream with Paul. And if you could just give us a little bit of background or a little forethought about what the boot camps now we're going to be seeing being offered to agents out there.
So yeah, so we did boot camps. It's just we did them in the past and we had great success and there was lots of good feedback and a lot of people were inspired and kind of it was the nudge they needed to kind of pivot their business and get more stuff. And so now that we got some distance from pandemic and COVID and restrictions and stuff like that, we wanted to bring that up. Bring it back to 5-star. And the idea is that we are going to go on the roadshow, which Don is always a fan of. And we're going to go into these markets and for 90 minutes, we're going to brainstorm and facilitate a conversation about at least 100 ways to grow your business. That could be little, as you guys know, you can, sometimes when you're in a business, if you just do one little activity or just give one little piece of energy or try something new, it's going to work. It's going to put energy out into the marketplace and you're going to get some return, positive or negative, but you're going to see movement. And the boot camp was just a good idea. There'll be other boot camps following this with other topics, but this one was like, we're kind of in a harder market, I would say. Every market is hard and has challenges, right? But this one is like where there's a short supply everywhere. So how are we going to get business and line people up to when it's time for them to buy or sell? We can be that person that they go to. And so rather than just everyone complain and get kind of down, we said, let's get together. We can figure this out. Every market we get through, every scenario. And that's kind of the inertia for the boot camp. And Paul and I will be doing this. Paul says we're good for about 50 ideas, and then we're gonna have to like group think and get like to 100. I did a brain dump and I came up with 70, so I think we're good. So we'll have some good ideas, and some of them are tried and true. Some of them might not be feasible, but there's something that I believe everyone can do. Even if you two guys wanted to, you could do one thing that would probably reap some rewards and some fruit in the marketplace. And so that's kind of the idea of boot camps. So they will be live in person. It'll be great. Paul and I will be nervous for the first 5 minutes and then we'll get rolling and it'll be great. But we've really had, when you have that much energy and positivity in a room, it really has a great effect on like morale and just some good positive vibes back into your business. So that's kind of the thing.
So if I'm understanding correctly, this is a 90-minute session. It's very concentrated. It's not a full morning or anything like that. It's 90 minutes and it's basically going to be focused on one item, one topic of how to get business doing this one thing. Is that what I'm understanding?
So Don, you're kind of glitching out on me, but I think you're asking, I'll take a guess at what you're asking. So it'll be 90 minutes. Live in person. We're going to go to different offices and we will probably record one for people who couldn't make any of them. You're invited to all of them, any of them. And it's not, if you can't spend 90 minutes, trying to figure out a new way to do business and something like that, then it's okay you need to do that rather than, you should spend 90 minutes talking with smart people and successful people. I'd also say it's only for like new to industry agents. They'll get a lot of just see different ways people do business. But if you're like, you've done the same thing and maybe you want to see what all this new market and new technologies are being used to get business. It's just a good way to think about how you do business a little differently. You don't have to do all 100 things. If you do one thing, that's great. And so it's a place does that work? Does that not work? How could I do that? And so I think it'll be really positive, but it's for every agent, and not whether you're new or been in it 25 years. So.
And I apologize because we are experiencing some streaming issues. I know that Leo, you were breaking up a little bit there too. Eric, what are your thoughts? Any questions on this new program?
Well, yeah, it just reminds me of the time years back when Don would pick up new business at the local pub, when he's having a pint or two. That was always a great thing.
How long ago was that?
The old cottage inns, the old, the Firkin beer, the hand pull pump,
Well, you say that jokingly, but we do. A dear friend of mine who does exactly that goes to the local watering hole at 2:00 in the afternoon every single afternoon, stays there for an hour, hour and a half, and then goes home, but gets a ton of business. And the reason is he's consistent. He does it every single day, and that brings me to the other issue, Leo, is consistency. An old mentor of mine said, do something, but do it every day. Don't stop doing it. So what's your experience with whatever you're doing, whether you work in expireds, you work in social media, whether you doing going FISBOs, what's your experience in those kind of activities?
I believe that, anything will work if you work it. That's kind of like my go-to phrase. And you have to work it and give it some time to get into people's, minds and in their lives. And for example, like consistency, the ideas might be as simple, or they might be complex, like videos. You want to do something a little more elaborate and something like that, but you have to be consistent to give people, you're going to contact these people and have a warm contact with them, but they may not be ready, or they might not know someone right then. But if they get another, we call them touches, right? Personal touches, and, to a month later, 2 months later, and then circumstances change. Oh yeah, thank you for that call. I forgot about that. I do know someone, and so you have to be consistent, give it time to get traction in people's lives, because this might surprise most people, but the public is not thinking about us all the time and how they can refer us. And so we have to consistently remind them and help them to go, because they want to help us generally. I mean, who wouldn't want to, help you, Don, get some business? You can do that. But I think consistency.
I have clients who take pity on me. Yes. My clients take pity on me.
You have to be around to receive it, right? Everything you put out there takes some time its reach just keeps going. And if the more consistent you are, it's like waves. When you drop a pebble in a lake, those ripples kind of go and go. And you just need to keep doing that, because everyone's lives, their circumstances change. They meet someone or something changes in their life, and they're like, oh, you have to be top of mind, we call it. You can't be top of mind with just like a one and done type of thing. That doesn't work that way. And that's not good business practices. And it's not reality for how people, access real estate agents.
And I see a lot of agents out there working social media, whether it's Facebook, they've got their own pages, but they're on Instagram, TikTok. They're using all manner of social media, even LinkedIn. You'll see a lot of agents who are connecting with other realtors and higher end clients through LinkedIn. And there's a strategy to each one of those things. But one of the main parts of the strategy is you have to be consistent. You have to do it every single day. So, Eric, your thoughts on any good topics that you can think of that we might approach?
Yeah, when I look at this, there's hundreds of topics.
Yeah.
But it's like you've said, it goes back to practicing the same one over and over. There's something to say about repetitiveness. And the more you do something, one, the more confidence you gain. And number two, the better you become at something, to the point where it's no longer a script. but it's more natural. It's more of a conversation, and the public then views you as a professional.
Mhm.
Starting off on something in the very beginning is very hard, but it takes repetition over and over and over and over again until it just becomes natural. Then that's when you become the professional.
Yeah.
And it just takes time.
So Leo,
And
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that reminded me, Eric, that even for established agents, they kind of have their flow, right? They have their, to use a ninja term, they have what they do, and they do it consistently, whether it's the 5, personal notes, or they have a flow like that. And what the boot camp is here's another idea that you can kind of fit into your consistent, energy and flow that kind of goes out in that, and that will increase your business. So if you're stagnant and you have it all worked out, it's so easy, then it's easier than rather than starting out brand new to go, oh, I want to incorporate this. I want to do a client event party, or there's like Eric said, there's 100 ideas. And so that's one of the hopes for the boot camp, is for the people who have a pretty consistent business and they have their life and it all works out. How about we increase your business and your reach and your potential for other opportunities by doing 1 or 2 things and just kind of put that in there. And so it can be for the new agent who has to splash into the marketplace, or someone who just goes, I want to incrementally do this. I have a pretty good system, but I can do this and grow my business, not just transactions, but maybe you want to grow it where you want more time. Maybe you have to think about hiring an assistant. So there's all of these kinds of ideas about growing a business that will be talked about and discussed. But
I've often heard it referred to as like going into a candy store. There's so many options to choose. How do you grow your business? Well, is it going to be through social media? Is it going to be by holding open houses, mailings, working FISBOs, working expireds, sending out the notes, the ninja strategy, and so on. And it all sort of comes at you at once, like a bunch of asteroids flying through space at you, and you're like, bing, 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 bing. How do you pick off one and avoid the others? So in looking at these boot camps, you're going to have a bunch of topics that agents can go to. And let me ask, if you have a topic, let's say social media, just as an idea, are you going to present that in a number of markets, or are you going to present that one and then something else in another market? Do we have any sort of idea what the scheduling might be for agents?
Well, that's really interesting. I'm not sure. So the idea is we'll do one, and it's kind of like a group experiment. The 100 ways or whatever number ends up being, those will be available to everyone, and we'll have a live stream of one so they can kind of see if they couldn't get to it. But we'll just have the same conversation in each market, because and hopefully it will just garner a bunch of good ideas and energy. So it's not like we're going to do prospect expireds and FISBOs in one market and not in the other. So it's just kind of like taking like a step back and go, let's do this. And then if we want, and then Paul and I can easily pivot to go, okay, so take social media. How would we do that? And that conversation may be a little bit different in each market, but it'll hit the main points about how to do that through social media. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. And in doing that, it will allow agents to take each of those and say, okay, here's my base, here's where I'm going to start, here's where I'm going to start building my business. And then after they do that, they can add this other piece and then add another piece. But it's a process. And as I was talking with Eric this morning, when you make a recipe or you work on your car or a project, you got to take it in steps. You don't do step 5 before you do step 1. Or the product, whatever you're making, isn't going to turn out very well.
Right.
You're going to have to go back and take it apart and do it over, as I discovered on Saturday in my project. But anyway, it helps agents identify how they can build a strategy for the future in starting in one point and getting to somewhere else. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this, for agents to have the opportunity to be involved in this.
Yeah, this is also a very familiar trope, that you can work in your business, but you should have some time where you work on your business. And this is going to be an experiment about, we're going to take some time. Everyone works in their business. They're showing properties, they're negotiating. There's the tyranny of the urgent in real estate. You're always running to do something, but you have to take some time to work on your business. And that's about systems and ideas and development and growth. And this is a timeout, a 90-minute timeout where we can go, let's focus on working on our business and see if that can help us, better in our business, if that makes sense. That's another way to think about it, at least the way I'm thinking about it.
Eric, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm curious, when's the first one? When's the
I knew you were
expected
gonna
launch date?
ask me that. I don't have it in front of me on my screen, but it was listed out on the Connect. So we also want people to RSVP, not that if you don't show, that's okay, but we need to have some idea of the rooms and how much food to bring. So it's not like a paid admission.
Oh, there's
At
going
this
to be
point.
food involved?
Yeah, there is free food. So that's a reason to come right there. Coffee
Okay,
and
just
bagels.
sign me up. So it sounds great. It's very exciting. Eric, any thoughts? And I'm going to leave the last thought to Leo. After
No, I look
your-
forward to attending and seeing
Yeah.
what people are struggling with or what they're being successful with and what they're doing. And bringing a bunch of ideas together
Yeah.
in order to help agents. It should be a good time. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Leo.
So my final thought is that when I've been a part of these things, and I would just like to put out there that there's going to be 100 ideas, and we are counting on you to share. It's going to be a safe space. There is no real secrets to real estate. I mean, we all kind of do similar things. And so what we want to do is you're going to get an idea. Don't be afraid to share an idea. That the odds of your business or your strategy or your secret little success is not a reality. I couldn't do all 100 ideas, but I could find, one or two that I can do that. But we're just really looking for a conversation. Can we not have a conversation about how you do business? And it's great. And maybe I can do something a little different, but my sphere won't overlap with your sphere. And so a lot of times when I've done these before, it's like everyone's tight-lipped and they don't want to share anything like that. That's not productive for you or for anyone else. So I would just trust us a little bit. It's going to be good ideas. And if Eric and Don, if you guys can come, and if it does get a little bit quiet, you can raise up and share all your secrets and stuff like that.
Why would you
So,
think
Don,
that we would be able to do that?
Because I know that Don loves calling expireds, and
Well,
I know you have a whole
It-
system, and I know how you handle objections. And so these are all stuff we need to know live, and we'll even role play with you, Don. I know you love that. So
hey, I'd be more than happy. Leo, thanks for joining. Eric, thank you.
yeah,
And we'll see
Thank
you
you,
all
Leo.
next week. Bye now.
okay, thanks.
Take care.
Bye, guys.